The 6 signs that you are overwatering your plant, how to nurse your plant back to health. Hi, this is Liv from Cellar Door Plants, and today we're going to talk about overwatering your plant. First, I'm going to take you through the 6 signs that you are overwatering your plant, and then we'll talk about how to nurse your plant back to health. So the first sign that you have overwatered your plant is that you see yellowing leaves. And classic plant care, this can also mean that your plant is underwatered, or it can mean that it's overwatered. A good tip here is that if you notice that the soil is wet and the leaves are yellow, then it's likely that you've overwatered your plant. The second sign that your plant is getting overwatered is that they develop brown spots on the center of the leaves. So if you start to see brown around the edges, this could potentially be from underwatering or not enough humidity. But if you see brown splotches in the middle of the leaf with yellow around it, then this is a sign of overwatering. And I actually have an example of this. So this pothos plant got overwatered. Oopsies. And you can see right here, I'm trying to show the camera, this right here, these splotches with a little bit of yellow around them, this means that this plant has been overwatered. The third sign is wilted leaves. So again, conveniently, this can also mean too much sun, but if the soil is wet, then likely you have overwatered your plant. I have a couple of examples of this over on the right. The fourth sign that you have been overwatering your plant are mushy stems. So if you take your plant, this one doesn't have it, and you look over at the stem and you can either pull out and the leaves come out, or it's just really mushy, then this is a sign that you probably have root rot and that the stems of the plant are getting a little bit too much water. The fifth sign is molding soil. And in addition to this, you will probably see a little bit more gnats. And so if you see a white substance that starts to come up on the top of the soil, or you start to see a little bit more gnats are pretty typical houseplant guests to have in your house. But if you're seeing a lot, this means that your plant is probably getting overwatered because gnats like to feed on the dead plant particles. And if there's dead plant particles, it means that something not good is happening underneath the soil. Over here, I have an example of that fungus or that mold that you'll start to see on the top of your soil. The final sign that you're overwatering your plant is that your plant starts to drop leaves. So it's normal for your plant to drop old leaves, and this will happen every couple of months, but it is not normal for your plant to be dropping new leaves or to be dropping a bunch of leaves all at once. If that's happening, then this is a sign that your plant is either in shock or it's been overwatered. So now that I have given you all of the signs of overwatering your plant, I'm going to take you through how to resuscitate your plant and bring it back to life. So if it is not very serious, so let's say you're only seeing 1, 2, maybe 3 of these signs of overwatering, then what you can do is you can just stop watering your plant for 10 to 14 days. So just stop watering it, let it relax, let it soak up all of that water that you've given it. And then what you're gonna do is you're going to take your finger and you're gonna put it deep down in the soil, and if it's completely dry, then you can go ahead and start watering your plant on a consistent schedule again. Just make sure that now you're giving your plant a lot of time to soak up the water in between watering. So in the summer months, you'll want to water more, so that's a weekly basis, but in the winter months, and this is where we'll start to see a lot more overwatering, you'll want to cut back. So for example, my Monstera plant, in the summer, I water it on a weekly basis, but in the winter, since I live in a humid, wet area, I only water it every 2 weeks. We also have a root rot treatment on our site. You can go ahead and type in root rot on cellardoorplants.com. And this treatment, what you do is, once you start to see these signs and it's not dramatic, you can go ahead and put a teaspoon of this in 2 cups of water and incorporate it in your normal watering cycle. And so what this does, it just helps the roots, keeps them strong, and tries to ward off any bacteria that would contribute to root rot. So if you are seeing all 6 symptoms and you are afraid that your plant is on its deathbed, this is when you need to take drastic measures. And I've had to do this with a couple of my plants. And so what you'll do is you will take the plant, you will take all the soil out, and you'll take a look at the roots. And so if the roots are mushy and brown and black and they're not crisp, then this is a sign that you have root rot. You really want to have white, crisp roots. This is a sign of a healthy plant. And so if this is the case, you're going to want to take garden shears or a pair of scissors, and you'll want to snip off all of the roots that are mushy and brown. And in between snipping them, you can clean your scissors so you're not spreading that bacteria to the other roots of the plant. So once you've done this, you're going to want to either clean out your pot or get a new pot and replant your plant in fresh soil and just let it sit for a while, put it in the same place so you don't want to shock it with anything else, and hopefully your plant can come back to life. There's a likelihood that it won't, but that is okay because you can always get a new plant, and this is all part of the learning process. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, you can go ahead and subscribe. If you have any more questions about overwatering or any more plant care tips, you can go ahead and leave them in the comments below for the cellar door plants team. Thank you.